Good day and welcome to another A Week at the Plot. And as you can see, we're not at the plot. On another walk down the canal, this time towards the Thames, and up on an area that is a little bit drier. And I've mentioned a dead hedge several times, and you can see here these piles of wood, branches, twigs, which are forming a dead hedge behind that fence. And this is the type of thing that I was talking that we're looking at doing in the paddock area. You can most probably hear the M4 in the background, and I can also hear a plane taking off at Heathrow. But yeah, this is what a dead hedge can look like. The one behind my polytunnel is a bit less tidy than this, a bit more rustic. Yeah. Well, now I am at the plot. So we had a lovely walk along the canal this morning and the surrounding area of the canal. And I came down here to harvest some of the Portuguese cabbage for supper this evening. And then it hit me in the face, not the Portuguese cabbage, it hit me in the face as I came down here, something that's really been annoying me, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. And actually what has been annoying me is this here. I thought it was a good idea to use pallets to put our bamboos in. So put a pallet on its side and then slot the bamboos down. The thing is that we've only got here this post there to actually give any support to the bamboos and the pallet. And because the bamboos are so heavy, when they get blown, they either just blow over onto the plot, or they rock that post. So I've decided I'm going to take the bamboos away and the pallets away, and I'm going to put the bamboos at the back of our decrepit shed because it's dry there. There's a lot of coverage of ivy. Can you see? Where is it? It's up here. A lot of coverage of ivy. And it's relatively dry at the back, so the bamboos will also be quite protected. It's not ideal because they're just going to have to lie on top of some scrub that I've got there, but I think that's better than this behind me with my things sticking out of my head, which is really frustrating me, and it only dawned on me when I got to the plot today. So yeah, I'm going to move these bamboos, move the pallets, because then what that will do, at the moment I feel it's breaking up the two halves of the plot a bit too much. By removing the obstacle of this, I hope the flow will be a little bit better. I've got a thought about the pallets, but actually I think I may need different pallets. But we'll come on to that another day. But first of all, I'm just going to remove these bamboo and put them at the back of the decrepit shed. So 10 minutes work and I'm already happier now than what I had before. So I feel it's opening up the plot really well. It was such a barrier. It really was. I mean, a good idea, I think, to put the bamboo into pallets, and we'll come on to that another time. But it really was acting as a somewhat of a deterrent and just a blockage. Clearly, I need to sort out that, move the wheelbarrow. But you know what? There's quite a few things on top up here which can go into here, and things around the back that you can just see that can go into this store. And then the wheelbarrow can then tuck behind the store. So yeah. And then down at the bottom here, we've got the troughs of bulbs, spring bulbs, which are coming up. I'm now thinking whether the what do you call it? Oh, the wooden sort of 3-tier greenhouse that I've got up here, that would be much better here. So I may move these troughs elsewhere. Oh, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Really happy with that, in fact. It was a great idea, as I've said, but it was a wall of bamboo, and it was a messy wall of bamboo, and it was a detraction each time I came down, even though I wasn't sort of consciously thinking about it. And it was also definitely subconsciously a deterrent to start sorting out and pulling out grass and getting rid of other things and tidying up, as I say, this behind me here. So I'm just going to crack on now. I'm going to leave it there for today, for this first segment of A Week at the Plot. I'm going to carry on doing a bit of tidying. I can also see that somebody is walking up to talk to me that I would like to talk to. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you again very soon for another segment in this week's A Week at the Plot. Bye. I was just coming in through the gate and I noticed these, I think, bluebells that are coming up in our hedge. What I also noticed is the frost. Still slightly crinkly underfoot, but yeah, where the sun hasn't hit, there's definitely a frost. Oh look, and there's some narcissi in the middle there. Can you see them? And other tulips, not tulips, bluebells as well. Spring is on its way. It is a gloriously sunny Wednesday. It's just joyous after the sort of greyness that we have had much of the last few weeks of December. And I've got a desk day, but I had to come down just because I wanted to get into the sunshine. I met another plot holder at the gate and she was coming down to tidy out her shed, which I'm sure she'll enjoy in this sun. What I've just noticed is the garlic, the late garlic, not late as in it's a late variety, but can you see the shards on the left? You can obviously see the shards on the right, but on the left I can see that all of the, or much of the thermidrome and messidor has now come above the ground, which is fantastic. Way behind the primor,
but maybe that should be expected.
I've actually come into the poly now, as you can see. I was going to do a piece from the shed, but with the positioning of the sun at the moment, it's just over the pub. With the shed door open, that sun is just flowing in, gloriously flowing in, but I can't actually do a piece there. So I've come into the poly where it's a little shaded, but it really is glorious down here today. I've got a busy week. I've got quite a lot of desk work and PR work to do over the coming days for an event for a client on Saturday. So that all needs to be done. So I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to get down here before Sunday of this week. I do need to harvest some things, so I'm hoping that tomorrow I will have some downtime to come and at least take some dazzling blue kale and Portuguese cabbage. But the one thing I wanted to say today is, even though we're all excited to get on and sow seeds, please, 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 especially if you're in the, Europe, America, if you're in the belt that we all sit in, please do not rush, even if you've got grow lights, because actually, unless you've got the protection of a heated greenhouse or a insulated greenhouse for those plants to go onto earlier than normal, the plants may be really susceptible to frost and to coldness. So think about what you want to grow, think about your timings of when to sow, when to prick out, when to plant out, but please don't rush to sow seeds. And I'm seeing it on Planet Vegetarian at the moment, and other Facebook groups, and also in YouTube videos. We all want to get our hands back in that soil and to get that sowing done, but please make sure that you're being sensible. If you do have grow lights, yes, you can get a good head start, but if you then don't have the right environment to put out those plants could just be susceptible. So do think about your timings. I mean, I may be sowing some brassicas, some Portuguese cabbage maybe later on in the month, but I'm certainly not going to be doing anything. I don't need to do anything till February. And in fact, I do remember one of our plot holders next door here, one of our lovely plot holders, we were having a chat the other day, and she said about Charles Dowding saying, sow the love of tomatoes on Valentine's Day. That's when you should start sowing things. And actually, you know what? It took me back to a memory that Dad used to say about sowing love on Valentine's Day. And I think I most probably hadn't thought of that for, 45 years, something like that. Oh, extraordinary. And of course, I was straight back in the garden at Le Pignon with Dad doing sowings of tomatoes when she said that. Anyway, please think about what you want to sow, think about the timings, don't rush it. I know people will, but don't rush it, because in most cases there isn't a need. If you've got a really short growing season like Greta has, and you need to get things, she's only got like sort of 4 months really of growing because of where she is in Newfoundland. You need to know exactly when you're going to be sowing and when you're going to be harvesting. So think about that for your own climate, not your own climate, your own geography at the moment, rather than getting too desperate and sowing seeds that might be susceptible to coldness or frost when they're seedlings or even when they're plants. I mean, we can have frosts here, into May. I think we had frosts in June a couple of years ago that knocked out a number of our bean plants. But hey ho, there we are. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you again very soon. Hopefully. Otherwise, I'll see you on Sunday. Bye. Oh, I can just see under the camera our fellow plot holders from next door. So I'm going to go and say hello. Bye. Good day. As I thought in my last video, it's now Sunday and I haven't been able to get down here since Wednesday. I've been walking around just looking at the things that need to be done, which are many. still needing to sort out bits in this area. And also I'm thinking that bird table that I've got, that's at a odd angle there, and some gooseberries and apple. I think they can go elsewhere to other people. I mean, when I say elsewhere, these, or Jax's trough, and the daffodils and the freesias which are here. I think this is the perfect place, as I said earlier in the week, for the grow house that we've got, which is, you can just see by the apple tree. You most probably can't. The one that needs the plastic top on, that I haven't had time to do that yet. So I think I'm going to work on this area over the coming weeks and just start clearing it. So one of the things that I do want to do, and that's what I'm going to crack on with today, if you remember, this here, oh, it's prickly, is a gooseberry, is a golden gooseberry. And I had been strimming this gooseberry down to the ground, down there, not realizing it was a golden gooseberry, which I would love. So I'm going to dig that out now and pot it up. Have to remove all the grass from around here, and then of course I'll take it back to bare root like we've done before. But before I do that, I just need to, I think I'm going to move that trough in front of this one, so between these, just to give me working area here. Otherwise I'll fall over onto that most probably. So yeah, today I'm going to take that golden raspberry out. Much of this weed is couch grass, look. Some cinquefoil there as well. But yeah, mainly couch grass. There's its root. Yeah, not bad, look. There's definitely some more root down there, but not too much weed in there, which is great. But I'm still going to go and give it a wash. This has now been taken back to bare root to make sure there's no weeds in there. And I'm going to plant it up into this pot here. I can never remember what size these pots are. That says it's 2 litre. What I will be doing is cutting down the growth so you can see the whole of the cane there. So it's this bit at the top that fruited last year. So it's this that I would be cutting back normally. And in doing this potting on, I am going to be cutting these canes right back. But what I have noticed, can you see a bit of green there? Sorry, I'm not focusing. Can you see in there? There's some shoot already coming, and there, and there. I've never been that lucky with raspberry cuttings. There's another bit there. You can't see, it's not in focus. There. But I'm going to take cuttings from those and put them into this one. When I have taken raspberry cuttings before, in the winter, they haven't worked. But you know what? These are going to go into the compost heap anyway if I don't use them as cuttings. So, yeah, nothing lost by having a go. So that's what I'm going to be potting up. There's a bit of dead there. You see that? That can come off. So I've got compost in the bucket. Put that in. I think I've got too much compost in there for the moment. You want a base layer. How's that going to fit? No, far too much. Take that out. Pop that in. Yeah. And then I'm just filling in around, lifting it up and tapping it just to get all the compost actually around the roots and into the center of the root system. Push right down and then just topping it up. Right, I have every confidence that will grow onto the cuttings. So I'm going to start from the top actually. I can see some growth here, so I'm just going to cut above. I can see some growth here, so I'm going to cut below. Another bit of growth there, I'm cutting above. Another bit of growth there, I'm cutting below. So you most probably can't see this, but I've got some growth coming up here, some growth down here. And actually what I'm going to do is rub this off. Do the same with this one. Rub that off there. Dip in rooting powder. Make sure you have them the right way up. I've got a pot full of soil there. I'm going to use a bit that I've just taken off as a dibber. Make a hole in the corner. I'm popping that in right at the corner, pushing down. That as far as it will go, pushing down. I've got a bit of growth up here, cutting above. Bit of growth there, I'm cutting below. Bit of growth here, no, bit of growth there in fact, cutting above. And there's a longer bit of growth there, I'm cutting below. These are my two sets of cuttings. Make sure the green shoot is pointing up. In they go to the rooting powder. Little hole in the corner, not right down. Little hole in the corner, not right down. Tap, in that goes. Push it down. In that goes. Push it down. Right, really firming those in because you want to make sure that the compost is really against your cuttings there. Just topping it up to make it a little bit nice. There we are. Cuttings.
and the potted up plant.
It is a glorious day out there, as you most probably can tell. Lots of sun, blue sky, white clouds, very bright. So again, back in the polytunnel where it's slightly shaded, though I think I'm still squinting a bit. I'd normally have sunglasses on, but you wouldn't be able to see me properly then. It's only the end of the first week of January, and I already feel as though a whole month has gone by in terms of exhaustion. I really, really do. There's been a lot of headspace taken up with some of the voluntary work that I do, which I'm cutting back on. But I've still got 3 months with one of the organisations that I volunteer for, and we're going through quite a lot at the moment. So yeah, there's a lot of headspace being taken up. But also yesterday, Vanessa from For Earth's Sake, she and some of her fellow activists were organising a demonstration in Dunsfold, or outside of Dunsfold, in Surrey, because the oil exploration company, UK Oil and Gas, wishes to drill in an area of outstanding natural beauty in the Surrey countryside. So we had a demonstration to show, hopefully, which I think we did, that the big vehicles that are needed to take in the pipe work and the heavy machinery for this drilling can't get down this narrow lane without infringing on common land. So we shall see. We shall see what the outcome of that is. We had the Right Honourable Jeremy Hunt down. We also had Surrey County Councillor down, and we had Waverley Borough councillors down as well. So it was a really good day, but boy was it wet. I got absolutely drenched, and in fact I'm wearing Richard's shoes today because my boots that I normally wear are still wet, having not dried out overnight because they were so wet. So after having quite a challenging week this week, it's been great to be able to come down here and just do some work which hopefully is going to not only give us harvests of golden raspberries in maybe 6 months' time, but if I'm lucky, and I've never been lucky with winter raspberry cuttings. I find raspberry cuttings really difficult unless you get the root in there. But I've never been lucky with winter raspberry cuttings so far. So we'll see. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's some spent compost, a pot which will be, you know, there for 4 months to see if this works, and some hormone rooting powder. So we shall see. Will we have 1 plant, 2 plants, 3 plants, 4 plants, no plants from those cuttings? I don't know. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Well, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to carry on pottering. I've been looking at a few things. I've just enjoyed just wandering around the plot this morning. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I thought, no, perfect time to do that raspberry and get it out of the ground while it's still dormant. Though, of course, we saw that there are shoots coming already, and I think that says a lot about our weather and how our weather has been extremely mild. So even though we've had some pretty cold, short snaps of dry weather, we've also had quite a lot of mild weather, quite a lot of sunny weather, and quite a lot of wet weather. And all of that together, I think, is confusing the plants. I mean, we saw at the beginning how far those spring bulbs are in coming out. Hey ho, nature takes her course. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you very soon on Planet Vegetaria for another upload of a segment of A Week at the Plot. And obviously on YouTube in a week's time, there'll be another full week of A Week at the Plot. Gosh, it's so bright even in here. It really is. Oh, lovely. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to enjoy that sunlight. See you soon. Bye.